What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another trade recap. Today is Thanksgiving week. Got a big week ahead of us. Not a lot of trading opportunity, unfortunately, but we're gonna run through the trade that I took today and the trade that I should have taken today, except I was asleep. So, unfortunately, I didn't take the trade. That was perfect, beautiful setup. If you guys trade my strategy, if you learn from me, I pray that you took the same trade, not same trade as me, but I pray that you took the trade prior to the one that I took, the one that I was asleep for. But that was like literally perfect, beautiful. I genuinely don't think we could have gotten anything else in that scenario to take that trade. So, you know the drill. We're going to go through everything, all the confluences, everything like that I used to take the trade that I took today and that I would have used to take that trade earlier. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get straight into it. We're going to talk about this news first, just because this is kind of important. So today we had a No News Monday, right? And then tomorrow we have PPI. Wednesday we have tentative red folder news. Thursday's bank holiday, and then Friday is Black Friday. Yeah. So, kind of insane. It's actually crazy that we had insane price action today. And then tomorrow's PPI, so who knows what could happen with that. And then Wednesday is tentative red folder, although like this news doesn't really move the market. It's still tentative, right? Just got to be careful. I'm trading Wednesday still. Well, I'm going to be probably trading all these days, but who knows if I'll take a trade, right? Thursday will not be trading. Friday, I will be looking, but I don't have much faith in Friday either, right? So none of these days are a day that I'm like 100% yes, right? If this wasn't tentative, then I would be like, yes, Wednesday would be good. However, it's tentative, so there's not a single day in here that's like, yes, that would be a good day to trade, unfortunately. But we had some nice longs today throughout the entire morning. As you can see, market openers right here. We had 4 possible setups. Four setups. You know how insane that is? 4 setups in a single day. Keep in mind, it's a No News Monday too. And of course, it's the one day that I decided to sleep in because I went to bed too late last night. I may or may not have been watching Mr. Beast games until like 3 in the morning. All right? So I didn't wake up for it. I missed out on like $1,000, but it's whatever, bro. You can pay the price. Okay, I also have a couple things to talk about as well. Before we get into the trade, a couple of my students, a couple of the people in my Discord did not see this trade, and they did not take these trades, right? And here's the thing. With something like this, right, you can't beat yourself up, okay? Because in a market like this that is so psychologically challenging, right, for your brain and everything like that, there's going to be times where you miss things, okay? And you cannot let it affect you. If you let the markets affect you, you are going to be cooked, okay? In a day like this where there's 4 possible setups, and let's say you didn't take a trade or you took a loss, right? And then you're seeing everybody blah, 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 like all these wins and stuff. Bro, genuinely just unfollow everybody. Like, seriously, just unfollow them all. It's going to be so much better for your mental because, like, you're going to be focused on yourself. Okay, everybody's trading journey is different. It's all different, right? You can't focus on, okay, you know, this happened, this happened, this happened, this person did this person did this, right? There's going to be people that are always making more money than you. Okay, it's just how it works, right? So you got to be okay with it, and you got to just move on, right? One of my students took a loss today, and he was pretty beat up over himself, right? And I was telling him, like, bro, it's totally okay, right? All it was, right? It's a loss. It's one day. A day like this is absolutely nothing in comparison to what you could do for the year, for the next month, for the week even. Like, it's genuinely nothing. To think so small in a sense of day to day, right? You can't be thinking like that. Obviously, you need to think day to day in the fact that you need to do everything you need to do in that day, right? Continue to stay disciplined. Day to day, you're doing those things. But when you're thinking about the charts and you're thinking about learning and you're thinking about growing as a trader and as a person, You need to be thinking in the yearly time frame. Okay, right now you're in the fucking daily, right? Scale up to that 12-month or that monthly time frame, right? Maybe even that weekly time frame. Sometimes you're gonna have red weeks. It happens, right? You're gonna have red weeks. Even if you're a profitable trader, you're gonna have red weeks, and so that's just part of the game. All right, so you have to be okay with those losing days. You have to be okay with days where you don't see something, and other people do, right? It's just how it works, and there's nothing wrong with that, and it's totally okay. It's turned to kind of a motivational video, but I just wanted to get that out there and tell you guys, because truly, do not beat yourself up over anything that's happening in the markets that you don't see that somebody else sees, and anything like that, right? Because your journey's different. You're going to get there eventually, right? Trust that process. Embrace that journey, all right? That being said, let's get into the trades from today. So the first trade that you could have possibly taken was kind of like a full port off of market open. We're going to rank each of these trades. This first one I would give around a B minus is what I would give it. So as you can see, right, we're delivering off of this new week opening gap, which is technically a fair value gap in a sense, right? So as you can see, bouncing off this, boom, continuation up, right? That's our first step, higher time frame gap, right? So this new week opening gap is that higher time frame gap that we're bouncing off of. Next, we need a 5-minute or 15-minute gap, right? And where do we see that? Well, we get this one. This is pre-market, right? But we do get this gap right here. As you can see, 9:30, our market open, shoots up. We'll get through that. Okay. This is also equilibrium of this range, this 5-minute range right here. Then lastly, you need an inversion, right? And you get this 5-minute inversion right here. But as you can see, right, we have shot all the way up here. So realistically, like, you're not going to enter this trade if we're all the way up here, right? You could have looked at the 1 minute maybe and entered off some displacement and saw that, you know, we're displacing pretty high, but at that point, right, we've swept out this liquidity, all these values, right? We have this one, and then we're right there, right? So you might as well just wait. You know what I'm saying? So that's why this one's like B minus or like C plus, just because you didn't get a great entry off that. This next one, however, is the most A plus setup that I have ever seen in my entire life. Maybe not really, but genuinely like one of the greatest setups ever. Like, I think every single thing possible that could have happened. Okay, and this was the setup where I literally, one of my buddies called me, and he's on the slopes right now in Vermont. He called me, he's like, bro, NQ longs. He's like, longs are free, and I had just woken up. This is at 10. I woke up at 10. And he's like, longs are free. And 10 was literally could have been my entry. Like, if I woke up and entered long, I would have entered the most perfect trade ever. But he was like, bro, longs are free. And I was like, bro, I just woke up. And he's like, on the slopes. But yeah, unfortunately, right, I was asleep for this setup. However, we'll go through it. All right, so you can see here, we get this 5-minute fair value gap. Sorry. 5-minute fair value gap created right here. All right, this is a pretty large gap. Come down, fill this, hit equilibrium of this range. Also, get an SMT with ES from this low down to this low right here. As you can see, boom, these two, ES swept that out, NQ did not. Perfect, bro. 5-minute SMT is probably the most perfect SMT that you could possibly have. That is like the best. That is the best SMT, right? 1 minute's a little bit too small, right? 15 minutes a little bit too large. 5-minute is that perfect range where you can catch the trade within the next couple minutes to go whichever direction, you know. 5 minutes perfect, right? So we had all that. On top of that, we had this 1 minute AMD. Accumulation, manipulation lower into this 5-minute. Boom. Distribution back to the upside. And you can see, too, that we create a ton of low resistance liquidity. High here, equal highs right here, high here, and I think that was the final draw. Yeah, that was the final draw. So the trade that I would have taken today, if I was awake, boom, here, lows below here, boom, stops at these highs, or I'd go a little bit higher to just get a 1-to-1. But this is the trade that I would have taken, this right here. Beautiful. Actually, I would have gone body of this right here. Body of this right here, and then just these highs. But yeah, would have been absolutely insane. And then break even at this right here. But amazing trade. Nonetheless, a beautiful trade, amazing trade. As you can see, we got everything, right? 1 minute inversion right here. Bro, it's just so beautiful. It was so insane. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. 5 minute retest, 5 minute equilibrium, 1 minute inversion, low resistance liquidity, right? We're continuing back up. That's the trade I would have taken. Now let's get into the trade that I actually took today that I got stopped to break even before price eventually just freaking shooting to my TP, which is pretty annoying. But, you know, you got to be okay with it sometimes. So the trade your boy took, as you can see, right, equilibrium of this range, boom, tap that right here. Also this 5 minute gap, boom, that's what we're delivering off of. Still delivering off of this new week opening gap, right? And then we've also just respected 2 5 minutes in a row. You could probably think that this next one's going to get respected as well, right? You can assume. Now, what ends up happening? We actually get a 30-second inversion within here, I believe. Yeah, 30-second inversion within here. I don't have it on TradingView. I enter this trade probably about right here. And then I had stops below here, and I was looking to get a nice little trade out of that, just like that. Actually, no, it must have been down here because it was like almost a 3-to-1. Yeah, I think it was probably something like this. Oh, no, it was. Yeah, it was within this right here. We had a 30-minute inversion, or 30-second, sorry, inverse to 30-second, and then retested it, and I entered off that retest, continuation back up, right? We would have eventually, I mean, probably got stopped out. I could have set my stop loss down here, but I just went break even at this high right here. This was a 30-second high, and as you can see, we hit that and then reversed off that. Boom, tapped me out, continued back up, and then, you know, but unfortunate, but it's whatever. We banked like $20 or something like that, so not that big of a deal, to be completely honest. And then we'll get into the last setup. Another one, like right after. This one, not as good. We didn't hit equilibrium of this range, I don't believe. Yeah, did not hit equilibrium, but we were still inside a 5 minute. There was no other 5 minutes, so there's really no point for it to go back down. Right, this 5 minute right here, technically had this 5 minute inversion, right? As you can see, only thing that's wrong with this is the same thing as this first one, right? We just displaced super high off of that. You could have taken a different time frame inversion. Was there even a, wow, there wasn't even a 1 minute. So yeah, I mean, probably would have just had to take this 5 minute, unfortunately, and probably wouldn't have banked, but I mean, you'd be still probably floating in profit right now. But there were 4 possible setups, 2 that were decent, 1 that was really good. The one that I took was pretty decent. That was like an A setup, I would say. The one before was like A+, and then this one I would say is like B-, and then this one I would say is like B-ish, B+ maybe. But yeah, this setup was just absolutely beautiful. With that being said, right, once again, like I said, like I told you guys, don't beat yourself up. If you did not take the same trade, don't beat yourself up. It's not that big of a deal, right? It's a single day. Okay, it's a single day, bro. There's so many days in a year. Think about that, right? There's so many days a year. One missed trade or one trading day where you don't trade is not going to mean anything. So you just got to think about it like that. Anyways, with all that, that is going to be it for this trade recap. Let me know down in the comments if you guys took any of these trades, if you guys lost, if you guys won. Let me know. If you want any help, shoot me a comment, bro. I'll respond to you and be like, yeah, for sure. But that being said, that's going to be it for this trade recap. Once again, if I take a trade tomorrow, you guys will see me tomorrow. If I don't take a trade, then you won't see me, right? Plain and simple. So I will catch you boys later. Have a great rest of your day and a great Thanksgiving week. Peace.